Hello and welcome back into the Living Room Guitarist. You have discovered us hopefully multiple times now. My name is Dan. I'm your host. This is episode 13, I believe. So thanks so much. We're at a baker's dozen now. This is a show dedicated to this instrument here, the guitar. We play because we like to play guitar. We all are on different journeys with our guitar playing. Some people started when they were very young. Some people started when they were, in their 20s or 30s or beyond. We all have different stories when it comes to playing the instrument, but we play just because we like to play. Not everybody plays at some professional level and has aspirations to go out and get gigs and sell records and make money and all that. We are living roomers. We play because we just like to play. We like to feel inspired. We like to explore and learn and get better, not for profit or celebrity. We've got, regular lives and jobs, but we just like to play as more of a hobby. So we'd just like to enlist our fellow living roomers here to help gather around and swap ideas back and forth. We've all come up with little guitar licks and chord progressions and ideas for songs over the years that maybe we're not sure how to develop them or what to do with them. So here's our environment to get together and just share and inspire each other and remember why we have this passion for the instrument. My guest today is Mike, joining us from the Big Apple, and he's going to share some really cool stuff with us today and talk a little bit about his journey. Mike, I see you've got some great background there. You've got a few axes behind you.
I
Uh,
do.
Tell us a little bit about your journey as a guitar player and a musician, and what brings you to the living room.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. I started off playing around the age of 12. I heard it's twofold. I really got serious playing around 12 when I heard Zeppelin. My dad is a big classic rock guy. He's a guitar player. He's very influential to me in that way. So he's always brought good music into my life. My whole family on my mom's side is also a bunch of musicians. So I've always been around music, but the inspirations were all over the place, right? Like, cause my one uncle's was a jazz virtuoso bass player. Others were in a country group, and then my dad was into classic rock. So it was like I had all these different influences. So that's when I first like seriously started learning guitar. Was like when I first heard Zeppelin on the radio. My dad was playing, and he was like, "Listen to this." But before that, I had seen a production of a musical called "The Buddy Holly Story," and when I was like 8 years old, and that's what got me into theater, as I'm mainly an actor who also is a songwriter, composer as well. You know, many hats in the artistic industry, and so Buddy Holly was the first time I was like, I want to pick up a guitar because I wanted to do that, and then I ended up doing that on national tour twice, playing Buddy Holly, which was really cool, and I continued to do it. I love it. I love Buddy. So that's how I got into guitar in the first place. But really learning to like play and write was after I picked it up for learning like Stairway to Heaven. Everybody has and you're like, yeah, I gotta like know how to play that, So,
And now
um,
it's like illegal. You can't do that
yeah,
anymore.
you can't do. Well, Jimmy Pickett. You got to do something different with it. But so that's how my journey started, and I've been playing and writing music since then. I'm now 30 years old, going on 31, and I have made writing and performing music pretty much my entire life. When I'm not an actor, I'm working as a musician, composer, doing things for podcasts, writing musical theater, composing pieces for advertisements and things like that. And I just love music, and I love the creation of music, and so anytime I can bring it into my world and share it with other people, I'm happy to do so. So that's my whole journey, really. And what brings me here is that my cousin works with you, or in the same place as you. So shout out to Alicia for hooking us up, and and that's sort of what brings me here today.
I'm guessing you have to shave the facial hair when you play Buddy Holly.
I do, yeah. I actually, I could send you a photo where you could just like throw it up, have your editor throw it up right here next to me of me playing Buddy and how I. But this one right here, that's my Buddy Strat. That's the '50s reissue Stratocaster right there. That's the one I've been playing with the strap that actually I got custom built from a company in Texas that is appropriately in Texas that looks just like the strap that Buddy used. So it's like a '50s kind of black leather strap that he used. That's my Nashville Telecaster. What's cool about this one here is the Stratocaster style pickups. There's three, if you can see that middle one, which most teles do not have three, but it's the Nashville Special Edition Telecaster. So it has these three noiseless pickups instead of just the 2 or the 1 if you're really feeling saucy. And then an Ibanez 4-string bass here. I'm playing the Yamaha Trans Acoustic, which I'll show some cool features with that. And then I have a Takamine acoustic electric next to me over here on the rack.
Oh, well, you are outfitted well. So you had sent me a video of something you had
Yeah,
composed and put together a really cool video, and you were going to share a lick from that, and maybe
yeah,
teach people how to play a certain lick that's got some cool elements too, and maybe someone
yeah.
in the living room, their own living room, can kind of take it and put their own spin on it, and maybe take it in a different direction, and just again help us develop our skills as guitar players. So talk us a little bit about what you're going to play and what inspired it, and then let's just
Totally.
off to the races we go.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I'll teach this little lick for the song. So, a song of mine called "Won't Be Back Again." I wrote last year, sort of right in the middle of the quarantine, right around my 30th birthday, actually on September 9th, and my birthday's the 14th. And I was pretty low. So I always return to the blues. That's like how I learned how to play. Once you pick up Zeppelin, you're like, you got to be in the blues. And everything that Buddy did, anything the 50s rock and roll, which I loved playing, is all blues inspired. So I was really in this place where I wanted to write something cool. I think a lot of songs miss licks these days. Like there's not like a cool little riff that is playable. Like back when every CCR song has like a guitar thing that it makes it iconic that you hear. You're like, I know that song. So I wanted to try to do that, but I was also balancing sort of the sadness that was being in quarantine, being out of work, sort of being alone and feeling like everybody was isolated because we were. So I wrote this piece called "Won't Be Back Again," and I'm just going to show you the lick of this piece. And I would love to have somebody in the group who's one of the watchers, one of the guests, to play around with it and maybe change it, maybe unbluesify it and see what you can come up with, or make it even more bluesy, make it a little lickier. So basically, the lick goes like this in the song. It goes. That nice little thing, and then you go into the verse, and then you do the lick again. There's 2 ways to play it. If you want to play it pick, you lose the. What I like about the finger picking, I'll say this before I teach it, because I'll teach it with the pick, so we can be very clean with it. But with the finger picking, it's nice to get that low E in there the whole time. So it's because it resonates. You get that nice little thing. But we'll start with the pick so we can really hear it and keep it specific. So what you're kind of going to do is you're going to start this lick out. I'm going to do it as quickly as possible in sort of a D7 shape, but on the 2nd fret. So you're going to have your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the G string and your pointer finger on the 2nd fret of the B string. And you're going to slide into the 3rd and 4th fret. So you're like, so you're gonna go 1, 2, then go back on that G string to the 2nd fret, hammer off like that, and then onto the D string with that E right there. So one more time. So it's slide, slide, and then you're gonna have there's a lot of hammering on this one. So right after that. Then you're gonna A string, open A into a hammer on the B. Back to that E hammer, so then G on the low E string with a little bend, open E. That's the first half of it.
Okay.
So that's essentially the lick, and so it should sound like. Before you finish the 2nd time, you hit the A chord. And then back. And you finish on E the 2nd time instead of the A. And that's really the whole lick.
Yeah, it does have sort of a Buddy Holly-ish rockabilly kind of feel, but it also smacks a little bit of early Montrose, actually.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
he played rock candy in that E shape, and a lot of fills around there. That's really cool. All right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's
I was thinking a lot about. No, sorry, not to cut you off. But I was thinking a lot about Stevie Ray Vaughan, who's a huge influence on me as well. And when you play Pride and Joy, and you do that. He does that little thing there, and that little movement there. I always love that. That sort of those movements where he'd be on that low E with that sticky guitar. Really dig that. So that's funny that you bring up Montrose because that's like, that's a similar kind of vibe.
yeah. So how about before we tail out here, um, let me just say, folks, if you're watching this, you picked up Mike's lick here. It's really cool. A lot of interpretations possible there. I'd love to hear what you think of it. Please submit your ideas, and again, if you have original ideas, ideas for songs, little pieces of something you want help from your fellow living roomers, little collaboration from your musical buddies who aren't going to judge you for how good you are or aren't. Nobody cares. I don't care if you know three chords. Hey, the Ramones made their whole career off three chords, didn't they? A, B, E.
Right.
So go ahead, livingroomguitars@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. We'd love to actually feature you as a guest on the show, just like we did Mike today, just like we had John last time. We've got another guest coming up. We're really looking forward to that, getting that audience built up, because I would guess that probably at least half of people who play guitar probably play not for professional or commercial success, because they just love to play. So let's just love to play. Mike, why don't you go ahead and play your lick out for us, and then we'll see you next time on the Living Room Guitarist. Thanks so much.
Yeah, absolutely.